Okay, hello, welcome. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Chuck Holt is unable to present tonight, but my name is Kristi Diaz, and I'll be covering the topic of pet obesity. Just like in humans, obesity is defined as excess body fat. So when a pet weighs more than like 10 to 20% of their ideal body weight, when they're more than that, that's considered overweight. Now, if they're more than 20% of their ideal body weight, that's not just overweight, that's considered obese. And believe it or not, more than half of American dogs and cats are overweight or obese. So it's a widespread issue for pet health. But despite these alarming statistics, do you think that over half of pet parents realize that their pet is overweight? No, they don't actually. Only 39% of dog parents believe that their dog is overweight. So it may be something that we're not exactly totally aware of or acknowledging. So cats and dogs are, generally smaller than adult humans. An extra pound or three is often significant on them, more so than it would be on us. To put this in perspective, just one extra pound on a small dog is like having 10 or 15 extra pounds for us. And then on larger dogs, an extra pound is more like 5 pounds on a human body. Here are 6 things that can be contributing factors to overweight pets. Genetics. Some dog breeds have a genetic tendency towards obesity, and that could be breeds like Golden Retrievers, Cocker Spaniels, Dachshunds, Beagles, Labs, and probably a few others. Another factor that can contribute is neutering. Pets that are neutered tend to form more fat cells, which slows their metabolism and can contribute to weight gain. Age. Older dogs and cats are usually less active, have less energy, and need fewer calories. They just have different nutrition requirements than when they were younger. The fourth one here, having children at home. So when there's kids in the house, they may be providing extra snacks, whether they spill their food or they purposely feed their pet the food that they don't want to eat, things like that. The next one is exercise. Many pets simply just don't get the exercise that they need to burn off calories and ensure a healthy overall life. And the last one here, overfeeding and overtreating. Don't mistake giving treats with giving love. You can show your pet love in other ways than just feeding them extra treats. Now, there are several methods that can determine whether a pet is overweight. Here at Pottery, we recommend relying on your veterinarian because a vet and their team can, complete an evaluation to determine whether your fur baby's overweight and then provide an ideal body weight to give you that goal for optimal health. This image here shows the body condition score, and this can also help you determine if your pet is overweight. One is the dogs and one is the cats views here. So when dogs gain weight, they tend to swell along the sides. They have an increase in their hip and their neck girth. Cats tend to gain weight in the abdomen, so with bulging sides and then a hanging belly. For cats and dogs, the weight evaluation process is similar. When your pet is standing up, you simply look straight down on them, and there should be a bit of a taper at the waist between the bottom of the rib and the hind legs. If you don't see any hourglass definition here, and that waist is actually wider than the ribs, your pet is likely overweight. So you shouldn't be able to see your pet's ribs, but you should be able to feel them as you run your hands along the sides of the torso. The average adult cat should weigh up to 10 pounds. And now it can be hard to get your cat to sit still on your bathroom scale. So here's another place where having a good vet visit may be necessary to get a good, accurate weight measurement on your cat. Healthy weights for dogs, now that can vary quite a bit. So things that can determine this for dogs, it's based on their gender, their age, their breed, and activity level. So if you're not quite sure, again, you can check with your vet to know about that. You may be asking yourself, does it really matter if my pet is obese? Well, yes, it does. Extra weight can lead to a whole host of problems, including joint problems, diseases like diabetes, respiratory issues, and even a decreased lifespan. So 5 pounds, even just 5 pounds above your dog's ideal weight, can put them at risk for developing some serious medical conditions. And so here are 3 things that might matter to you. Just kind of realize that fit pets live longer. Dogs that maintain a healthy weight, they live longer than their overweight counterparts. So obesity, that factor alone can shorten a dog's life 5 to 2.5 years. A fit pet often gets more time to create memories with their parents. Another reason it matters is that obese pets are more likely to experience other health challenges. So, I mean, I already mentioned some of these, but they can be things like arthritis, joint issues, type 2 diabetes, respiratory or heart issues, and many forms of cancer. And not only the impact on your pet, but these can be pretty high ticket vet bills. And the third one here, losing weight improves their mobility. So overweight pets can experience mobility issues, but just losing 6% of their overall body weight can noticeably improve their mobility and vitality. So just kind of the bottom line here about pet obesity, when you have an obese pet, you have an unhealthy pet, high medical bills, and often a reduced lifespan for your fur baby. So as most of us know, weight gain can sneak up on you, and it's the same way for our pets. Of course, your kitty doesn't feel the warning signs of feeling her jeans getting tighter or finding it difficult to bend over to tie her shoes. So us keeping a close eye on our pets' proportions is important before that weight gain gets really out of hand. But if your pet seems to be gaining a lot of weight suddenly with no significant change in their eating or exercise habits, there might be a medical cause. And so please evaluate this by your vet. Yeah, they'll help you develop, you kind of rule out the medical things, help you develop a diet exercise plan that could take your fur baby's needs into account. So if you have a pudgy pet, to help them lose weight, this is a pretty simple formula. Having fewer calories in and more calories out is going to be weight loss. So in the next slides, we're going to talk about food and treats and exercise to help you make sure you choose the healthiest pet food, that you feed nutritionally dense food, things like this. Food is the foundation of good health. So some things you should know about when it comes to food related to obesity in dogs and cats. If they just need to lose some weight, you don't necessarily need a prescription diet for that. You just need a diet that's lower in fat, slightly lower in protein, and preferably it would be higher in fiber. For instance, if your pet has only gained a few pounds and you're feeding him good, healthy nutrition, you can probably just offer less of that. If their food is not highly digestible or it's not really nutrient dense, then it's a good idea to get them on a better quality nutrition, like the food that Pottery offers. Kind of think of it like this. With your children, if you have children, you wouldn't just feed them McDonald's every day for every meal. Their main nutrition should be something healthier. And so it's the same for your pet. If you switch the pet food to a lower fat, lower protein, and higher fiber diet, you want to allow 7 to 10 days to transition to the new food. You know, each day feeding less and less of the old food until they're 100% on the new food. And if when you're transitioning them, if they act like they're still hungry, you can add some canned pumpkin to their bowl, because pumpkin is high in fiber and will help them feel full as they're adjusting to their new food. Another note, free feeding. If you're free feeding, you really should probably stop that. Here's a kind of a better way to do it is put the food bowl down for 20 minutes and then pick it up, put it in the counter, put it on the fridge, get it out of their way. And don't let them just graze all day out of boredom. Don't let them be self-feeders. You can also use food puzzles to help slow down their eating. And if you have a multi-pet household, this can be challenging, but try and feed them separately to make sure that the overweight pet doesn't eat the other pet's food. And then on the back of the bag, follow the feeding guidelines. Don't overfeed. Feed according to their breed and their ideal weight. Reduce snacks in between meals. And speaking of snacks, now that we've talked about food, what about treats? You can still give them treats, but just make better treat choices. Our pod treats are freeze-dried or dry roasted treats. So they're all natural, they're grain-free, they're made with simple ingredients. For example, we have one that's called freeze-dried chicken, apples, and kale, and that's all that's in them. You can also bake treats at home with healthy ingredients, and you can make them whatever size you want, even just really small ones. Treats should not exceed 10% of your pet's diet, and probably even less than that if they're trying to lose weight. So just feed them better, nutritious treats and limit the number and how often you treat them. And look for guilt-free, minimal ingredient treats. And now, what about exercise? The last little point here. Just help them to move more. You can use toys or balls or laser pointers, anything that they're interested in enough to chase. Take them for walks, like fast walks, or to the park to run around and play. Increase their exercise safely if they haven't been used to this. Regular walks don't just exercise your pet's body, of course. They provide mental stimulation. So again, if you're unsure about what's the best course, you can chat with your vet, given your pet's breed, age, gender, any physical conditions they have, because you want to avoid injuries in this process, of course. So keeping pets at a healthy weight should be the goal from an early age, since it's easier to stay fit than it is to lose weight. And just like people, the older a pet gets, it can get more difficult to shed those extra pounds. So if you've determined that your pet is maybe carrying too much weight, here's 7 tips to help them get back into shape. And there's a lot of factors that can contribute to this, but we're just trying to get them to a weight that they can thrive at. So the first 2 points here: follow feeding guidelines and measure out their food rations. No matter what food you choose, allow them to follow the feeding guidelines on the product. Or if you're looking for customized feedback on your fur baby's diet, you can do a pet profile with Pawtree and get some healthy recommendations and get feeding guidelines. Most pet food bags have detailed instructions on how much to feed your pet based on their weight. However, these are only guidelines. So if your pet's overweight, you'll probably need to reduce the amount, and you can always consult with your vet for the ideal amount of food for your pet for the weight loss. The third one here: don't free feed. I touched on this already, but when you keep a bowl of food that's full and available at all the times, it can inspire overeating. So keeping your pet on a regular meal schedule can help cut out their in-between meal snacking that you're not being aware of. The 4th and 5th points here: increase their exercise and exercise daily. Set aside, 30, 40 minutes of daily playtime for cats and dogs. And depending on their current condition, you may need to kind of gradually work up to that much activity is tolerated. For dogs, long walks in the park and a daily game of go fetch can help them lose weight. That's also going to help your bond and improve emotional well-being. For cats, you can grab some interactive toys and make time for nightly play, because cats are more active in the early evening hours. Regular exercise is one of the most important factors for your fur baby's overall well-being, regardless of their weight. Whether you decide to take walks or play with them more often or take them on hikes, just increasing their day-to-day movement will have a big impact on their health and well-being. The 6th one here: give out treats mindfully. Reward good behavior with kind words and cuddling more than just calories from too many treats. If you're giving even just 30 extra calories a day in their treats, that can cause the pet to gain 3 pounds or so over the course of a year. So when you offer treats, again, make sure they're wholesome, all natural, low carb. It can be easy to give our pets endless amount of treats because we love them so much. They're so cute. They give us the look. But treats have calories, and that they can add up quickly. So limit the number of treats to a recommended serving size. You can pull out some of their food, add paw pairings, and make their food a treat. And so you're not going over their daily amount. Yeah, just by being more mindful in the way you give treats and what you're giving, you can reduce those unnecessary calorie consumption and help in weight management. I know at the end of the day, pet parents, they just want their fur babies to thrive. And just being more aware of this obesity epidemic and your pet's weight you can just be more of an advocate for the health and longevity of your furry companions. The last one on here is about don't feed pets people food. Our food isn't necessarily good for our pets. Even if they beg, don't encourage the habit of sharing your food with your pet. Dogs and cats have entirely different nutritional needs than we do, and many foods that are safe for humans can be harmful for our pets. Another thing that has helped us and our family about not giving people food, like if we are going to give them like a little piece of an apple or something, we put it in their food bowl. We don't hand it to them while we're sitting at the table and things like that. We just put it in their food bowl when it's time for them to eat. I mentioned this earlier, but you can fill out a pet profile. The person who shared this class with you will have a link to a pet profile that you can fill out for your pets. So ask them to share their pet profile link with you so you can see what's recommended for your pets. At Pottery, we also offer a pet reset. It's pretty simple. You fill out the pet profile, you see what's recommended, and for 30 days, you feed only Pottery products to your pet. No table scraps, no other treats or supplements or foods, just Pottery products. And after 30 days, or you can even take it longer to 60 or 90 days, see what differences you notice. If you're not happy, Pottery has a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all their products, and you can be completely refunded for anything that you've given during that pet reset challenge. So I just want to point out that your pet's health is not an expense, but it's an investment for a healthier life together. Okay, so that's the end of tonight's class. Last thing here, please join us next month. We're going to be hearing from Laura Shorter. She presents a class on anxiety in pets. You can grab the QR code here, or if somebody, okay, thank you, Allison has put the link in the registration if you're live with us here on the class. But go ahead and get registered for that. And I'm going to move on to the next slide. We also do a PDF handout with all of these classes, and this will be emailed to anybody who's registered for the class, and we'll put the link there in the chat as well if you want to grab the accompanying PDF handout. We have a few more minutes for questions and answers if there's anything in the chat. I'm going to stop the recording and take any questions, but thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate you.